All right, Math 6, Chapter 2, Section 6, entitled Mean. So the mean of a set of data is the blank of the data, blank the number of pieces of data, is the sum of the data divided by the number of pieces of data. So if you had a bunch of scores, like here's a 50, 49, 48, 51, 52. These were all the scores. You would add up all those scores. You would then divide by the number of scores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number of scores to get your mean. So if we looked at this data set, it's 250 divided by 5. The mean score is 50. So that's all we're going to be doing here. Here is a picture graph which shows the current number of electoral votes for selected states. Find the mean number of electoral votes for these 4 states. So please note the key, 1 vote is 1 check. So go ahead, if you think you can find the mean of this data, please pause the video and try to find the mean number of electoral votes for these 4 states. Go ahead and pause it and unpause it, and you can check how you did. All right, so write and simplify an expression. Let's count up all of these votes. There's 11 from Tennessee, 8 from Kentucky, 13 from Virginia, and 8 from South Carolina. So the definition of mean is the sum of this data. So 11 plus 8, let's see, 11 plus 8 is 19. 13 plus 8 is 21. Adding that up, that's 40. So the sum divided by the total, that would be 40 over 4, or 10. So each state of those 4 has a mean or average of 10 electoral votes. So that's how this is set up. Let's go ahead and do this. Check your progress. Number of days per week that members of the middle school band practice their instruments is shown in the table. Days of practice. Find the mean or average. So what we're going to do is add all these up. Let's add up the top row, or the bottom row. That's 6. That's 10. This is 12. And when we add 6 and 10 up, see, 16 plus 12, 28. So the bottom row is 28. The top row let's see here, that's 13. That's 10. That's 9. So that's 23 plus 9 is 32. So the top row is 32. And when we add up those, 2 and 8, 60. So the sum of the data is 60, divided by the total number, 12. So you would say the average, the mean or average for each kid, number of days practicing per week is 5. 5 days. Now, if you're confused about how I added all this up, you can add up each piece. You can add these numbers however you want. I just have a system of adding up pairs of numbers, adding up those pairs of numbers and going. And if I made a mistake, of course, you can correct me, but that makes pretty good sense. All right. An outlier is a value that is much higher or much lower than the other values in a set of data. So, here are points per game. Identify the outlier in the data. Then find the mean with the outlier and without the outlier. Describe how the outlier affects the mean of the data. So, we're looking at this data here. Looks like 92, 102, 88, 76. Looking at all these numbers, they all kind of 70, 80, 90, in the hundreds. But this one right here, compared to the other values, 44 is extremely low. 108 is pretty high, but there's still some 100s in there. 44 is the only one that is extremely or is much out of place. So now you're going to find the mean of both pieces of data. You're going to need to add up all these numbers. And you're going to do it with 44 and without 44. So that's what's going to be on the next page here. If you add up all these numbers, you get 1,050 divided by 12. So 1,050, 12. All right, let's do this long division. 12 goes into 10. No, 12 goes into 105. 8 times. Let's see if 8 works. That makes this 96. This right here is 9. 90, 12 goes into 90 7 times, and continue from there. All right, so if you can see all that, oops. Twelve goes into 105 8 times. 8 times 12 is 96. When you subtract, you get 9. 12, drop down the 0. 12 goes into 97 times, which is 84. Subtract, you get 6. So we keep going, drop down another 0, that's 60. 12 evenly goes into 60 5 times. So the average is 87.5 with the outlier. All right, now let's set this up. Let's do the division. 11. 11 goes into 100 9 times. Subtract, that's 1. Drop down to 6, that's 6. See, that's 5, 50, now 4. Okay, so basically is about, oh, I gave us an answer. But you can see this was good practice for doing the long division. So, all right. So the question is, let me erase that now since I wrote over us. So here, the outlier lowers the mean of the data by how many points? Including the outlier, see that's approximately, or that's exactly 4, by 4 points. So by removing the outlier, you get actually a better understanding of what the mean is. Um, it kind of gives you a better variety. That means that this right here is drops it down by 4. All right. So identify the outlier of this data, then find the mean of the exams. We're doing the exact same thing over again. So you should pause the video, try this on your own, and then unpause it when you're ready to see. All right. So you should have just finished this. The outlier is 36. All the rest of these are pretty close. Almost, 79, 84s, 82, 91s. They're all 70, 80, 90. But this exam score was quite low. So, and you should imagine if these were your grades, what this one exam score could do to your grade. So, let's add up. Let's do it with the outlier first. Let's add all these up. 84, 75, 93, 84, 75, 93, 82, 84. I'm going to add the outlier in there last, and you'll see why in a minute. 36. So, add up all these numbers. See, 84 and 75, that's 159. That's 175. That's 163. And I'm going to do the outlier last year. So 159 and 175. When you add those together, it's 334. When you add these numbers together, 254. Add those numbers together. 8. So 588 is without the outlier, plus 36 . Oh wait, I'm sorry, not 85, 88. Plus 36 is 624 with the outlier. So let's look at that. So without was 588. With is 624. So now we have to divide. Well, with the outlier, there are 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. Without, then of course there would be 7. So when we do this division, this long division, pause the video if you want to actually work out the long division on your own, and then unpause when you're ready. You'll find that this, without the outlier, your test score, the exam score was an 84. With the outlier, it was 78. So looking at this, you could say that the outlier drops, the outlier drops your score by 6 points. You could also say that your test average went from a B to a C+. It dropped it a whole letter grade. That's why outliers are such a big deal with your grade. So, make sure you go ahead and check your understandings, and then we'll do these in class. Good luck.